So on the surface, Vegas looks like it's thriving. Bright lights, big crowds, lots of conventions. But underneath it all, like cancer brewing in the host, the real story is much more troubling. From drops in gaming revenues, international tourism being down, occupancy rates not there, reduced traffic at Harry Reid International Airport. Yeah, even tariff concerns that might cause the country to go into a recession. We're going to talk about the real Vegas economy in 2025 using stats and numbers that come from our very own government agencies here in Sin City. We're going to take a walk of the Las Vegas Strip and explain what it might mean to you traveling to Vegas in 2025. My name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. Let's take a tour and give you the real deal. Are you ready? Well, let's go. So we're going to start with the massive collapse in visitation numbers in the last 2 months. And we're also going to start with, of course, the broken down escalators that never seem to work in Vegas. As we go over to the Bellagio, the amount of people that actually came to Vegas in March compared to March of last year. They say that it was the worst collapse in tourism numbers, the biggest drop since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic nearly 5 years ago to the date. Now, of course, that doesn't account for February, which was even worse. But to put it frankly, 7.8% drop in visitation rates year over year. That's pretty bad. February was worse, but guess what was here? The Super Bowl. So we can't exactly say that February of 2025 was fair to compare to 2024, but it's 2 straight months of drops, visitation drops. It's a clear sign that something just isn't right in the economy, and that people might just be avoiding Vegas and holding on to their money. Now, usually, conventions would come in and save the day. Vegas is great at booking conventions and filling the gaps in visitorship. But even in this case, conventions couldn't save the day. And here's a tip for you as we kind of traverse through the Bellagio. If you're going through somewhere like the Bellagio where you have these rotating doors behind me, these things get jacked up with 10, 15 people in line. Just go outside the American with Disabilities Act compliant doors. They're always there and it'll speed up your trip. So typically when Vegas can't get people through the door gambling and in the hotels, they switch to convention mode, and it makes total sense. You see, conventions fill in gaps on the calendar. So how did conventions do in March? Well, actually quite good. But before you get excited, what you really should know is that it was simply an outlier. One giant healthcare IT conference came in and dominated the show. Now, one truth is that the conventions haven't come back, and they may never come back to what they did pre-COVID-19 shutdown, but at least we still have them, right? Well, what about everything else, like room revenues and room rates and hotel occupancy? Is that a bright light? Not so much. Before copyright restrictions get me, enjoy part of the Bellagio show, I guess. So on hotel occupancy, yeah, we saw more tumbles. We saw hotel occupancy dropping down to 82.9%, even though the rates of rooms actually went up, which just sounds like the hotel's taking more money from you than they have to. Let me know in the comments below if you think that's the case. But what we did learn from the 2024 visitors survey, and if you ever get approached by a person with a clipboard, as long as they're doing that survey, it's official. We learned that people are staying 3 or 4 to a room for the first time ever. So we have $183.86 average room night. But that's not the worst of it. The worst thing is that air traffic at Harry Reid Airport actually fell. Yeah, it fell 3.9%. Highway traffic actually increased, showing that more people are driving in from local states. Regional budget travelers is what's coming to Vegas now. And that is definitely not the business model that this city has been trying to put forward. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that they are catering to F1 races and high-end events. So this could actually mark a changing of the guard for how these hotel companies do business. But since these companies don't seem to understand what we really want, I could just be having some wishful thinking. Speaking of Harry Reid Airport, most people are flying in if they're coming in from Canada. And that is, my friends, the most ridiculous and horrifying statistic so far. 1 second here. I think we have the big shopping cart thing behind us. Let that pass for a minute. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Now, I love that thing. Cartzilla. Now, before Canadians out there get mad at me, what you should know is I'm Canadian, born and raised. I love Canada. True patriot love, and all thy sons command. And I'll always say sons because I grew up with it that way. But Canadians are not coming to Canada. or they're not coming to Canada, they're not coming to the United States. I got frazzled by the shopping cart. And this could be a number of different things. Some Canadians aren't coming because Donald Trump has said some things about Canada without us getting political. Some Canadians aren't coming because for every dollar they bring, they only get 72 cents US, and that would be before their bank clips them for exchange rate and Forex, different fees. But the truth is, budget carriers in Canada, they're down in terms of their bookings. Air Canada, the national flag-bearing airline of Canada, down 5.9%. Flair, a regional budget carrier, down 62.2%. And even the mighty vaulted, WestJet, down 14.5%. And so when our closest neighbor... So there's a guy popping a wheelie. So when our closest neighbor can't afford to come here or just refuses to do so, that's a bellwether for every other country that might be out there thinking of doing some international travel. We do have to talk as well about the upcoming possibility of a retail recession and what this might mean. And now we're getting into territory of things that may be way over my head. But let me just run this one past you, and the idea here might just frighten you as much as it does me. And by the way, I'm kind of doing this raw and uncensored, and you can see what happens when we record. So if you like this content, you think it's worth it, why don't you give me a subscription for me getting down and dirty on Las Vegas Boulevard, quite literally, and giving you some information and giving you the real deal, not making a commercial for the resorts and casinos. So as I record this here in the very last few days of April 2025, we do have to talk about tariffs and what they mean for Vegas and a possible recession coming up. A recession, by definition, is when you have negative GDP growth for 2 quarters in a row. But when a recession happens, things for Vegas go south pretty darn fast. And this may actually lead to opportunities for you as a visitor coming out here, or it could just lead to Vegas seeing it do its shenanigans and increasing prices. We really don't know. But as it stands, tariffs are causing cargo to not really come into the country like they used to. Some people saying that the CEOs of Target and Walmart and Home Depot have told President Trump that unless something is done very soon, we'll have empty shelves by May or June. The big concern here from people is that if we do have empty shelves, this will lead to layoffs. And if we do have layoffs, this will lead to people not traveling. And the fact that people are already holding on to their dollars and grasping their pennies with massive amounts of uncertainty about the economy sure doesn't help Vegas, which used to be a spur-of-the-moment kind of town. But just because the economy is hurting and you might not be able to come to Vegas, it doesn't mean that you can't actually gamble out of the comfort of your own home. So this video is brought to you by our affiliate sponsor, Casinoscom and Gambling.com. You see, they have a way of getting you casino offers that are legal in your state, not a weird crypto casino, not a Chinese CCP-based company stealing your information because you downloaded a sketchy app from the App Store. And they're going to give you a unique offer based on where you actually live. That's right. Some of the offers are as big as, they'll waive thousands of dollars of losses every day for a few days, or they'll match your deposits up to $500 or $1,000. Every offer is unique, legitimate where you live, and vetted by a huge company listed on the NASDAQ exchange. So check out notleavinglasvegas.com/casinos if you want to gamble at home without the hassle of Vegas, the high prices, all of the hassles, and you can even do it with no pants. Although if you do, you don't have to tell anybody, okay? So check out the links. We get an affiliate commission if you use those links. And but we really do have to talk about what this all means for the city and what it can mean to you if you do manage to see a recession come. And is Vegas already in one? So I'm sure you already know this, but gaming is the lifeblood of this city. And gaming is the industry's way of saying simply gambling. Magician there is trying to get a crowd out of this slow one. Oh man, I feel bad for him. So gaming revenue just means gambling revenue. And how bad was it? Well, gaming was down 1.1% in March. Now that might not sound like a lot until you fully understand that, the gaming revenues in general for the state are over $1 billion every single month. And then it starts to really add up. Clark County, which is everything that doesn't include the Las Vegas Strip, down 1.8%. The Las Vegas Strip itself, get this, down 4.8%, a full 5% drop, which again may not sound that much, but it really is when you start to add it up and you compound that over months and months and months. These casinos, they are in trouble. And what's really weird about all this is those so-called low-end markets. Those are the markets, those are the things that are propping up the state. So more people are staying away from the Strip and going to other parts of the city and the county to really help us even have a shot at surviving here in Vegas. So most of you already know that Vegas didn't start right here. It started downtown. What you may not know is that downtown visitorship, as the economy has kind of gotten tighter and tighter for a lot of people, is considerably doing better than anywhere else in the city. In terms of gaming revenue, downtown revenue in March was up 11.6%, whereas again, the Strip and all these gorgeous crystal palaces around me was down by 4.5%. And shockingly enough, the Boulder Strip, which is an area that I guarantee probably 90% of you have never been to, if not more, that was up by 10.2%. These are from locals and what they call, unfortunately, low-spend visitors. Low-spend visitors who are looking for more value and not maybe necessarily looking to spend the average $2,000 that these casinos would love you to make. And by the way, in reality, according to the visitor survey, the average person gambles about $280 if they're from North America and $350 if they're from overseas. But that just goes to show that you don't have to be Caesar's Palace in order to make a profit in this town. You can be a grind joint, you can be downtown, and offer massive amounts of value to people and make your money one nickel slot spin at a time. But do you know what's really, really, really strange about all of this? It's that despite all of this, the $1 billion a month streak in Vegas hit 49 months in a row. It's been 49 months in a row where gaming revenues in Vegas have topped $1 billion. And whether or not that streak continues, it's going to give us a general outlook for how your Vegas vacation may go in the future. And I foresee it going one of two ways. So in the end, what does this even all mean for you, the traveler, for the person that wants to come to Vegas but feels priced out of the market? Well, there's one of two different outcomes here. Either that $1 billion streak that we talked about continues to streak on. We go from 49 to 50 to who knows how many months in a row. The casinos in that case just keep on keeping on, figuring that they got their gamers. There's still people that are willing to, empty their wallets for the city, so why change anything? But the best case scenario for you would be that the economy slips a little bit more, just a little bit more, and that $1 billion streak is broken, and suddenly people stop coming in droves. You see, that'll drive down the prices of the visitors coming to Vegas. That'll mean that the room rates will finally drop after they've been up for the same amount of time as the $1 billion streak. That'll mean that the corporations will have to reassess how they're doing business with you and possibly provide you more value. So until that happens, would you be smart to be booking a Vegas vacation right now? I'd say if you have the ability to be flexible and wait and see, you probably don't want to book anything for now. But what you most definitely want to do if you enjoyed this video and you think I'm worth it is go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for future notifications, and you'll know when we bring you important information like this that can help you plan your next Vegas trip or bring you it from a different perspective. Once again, it's my pleasure to be here with you and talk with you on these types of issues. I've been doing this for 6 years. If you guys want to help the channel, I do implore you to subscribe, like, and share, and leave us a comment below. Have you been to Vegas lately? Is it too expensive for you? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you, and that helps the channel grow. Once again, my name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. Until we meet next time, I look at the camera and I say 3, 2, 1, click. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and click!